I'm going to now take a few minutes to show you how to create a relationship in an Access database. I'm going to use the table or the database that's already created, known as Skyline. When I open Skyline to create a relationship, I need to go to Database Tools. Click on the Relationship button and add the tables to which I want the relationship for. I want to create a relationship between the inventory table and the supplier table. I would like to create a one-to-many relationship between supplier ID. Supplier ID in the supplier table will be my 1 because it has a key next to it telling me it's a primary key field, meaning it's unique and I can only have one entry. So that will be the 1. To the many, there is not a key next to supplier ID under inventory, so I can have many in that area. So I click on supplier ID, drag on top of supplier ID in the inventory table. See down here it says the relationship type is one-to-many. Check all of these and choose Create. I have now created a one-to-many relationship between supplier ID. If I would like to create a relationship report, I choose Relationship Report and I can save it. That's how you create a one-to-many relationship. Good afternoon. Today we are working on Chapter 3, Modifying and Managing Tables. We are going to use some features that help with the data entry go a little bit quicker. In Chapter 3, the assessment you have to do, you create a database called Lafferty Company. Again, you're using a blank database. So you go to the Start menu, Access, choose Blank Database. We name it Lafferty Company. And create. Now once again it opens in Datasheet view. I need to switch to Design view to set up my table. My first table is Marketing Employees. It opens in Design view, and as shown on page 95 I'm going to set up the fields. The first few fields, there's nothing different than Chapter 1. For instance, Employee ID, the field, it's a text with the field size of 4. The next field is first name, text, field size of 20. Middle name, field size of 20. Last name, field size of 30. Status. At this company, 90% of the employees are full-time. So what we're going to do is we are going to put down in the field size is 20. Right below field size we have default value. The default value is going to be full-time because most of the employees are full-time. If, for instance, we have a part-time employee, we will then switch it. But by default, it'll put all of the employees as full-time. Then we're going to do a hire date. Now the hire date, we are going to use something called the input mask to enter a short date. So first we go to date and time and choose date and time. We go down to input mask. Before we can do an input mask, we need to save the table. We go to these 3 dots on the right across from input mask. It'll take us through the wizard. We're choosing short date. I always make the placeholder a $sign and finish. We will see what that did when we go to enter the data into the table. The next field is vacation. All employees at this company have either 0 weeks, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. So we're going to create a drop-down list where we choose one of those 3 options. To create a drop-down list, we go to Lookup Wizard. It'll take us through another wizard. I will type in the values I want. We always choose that radio button. Right under the COL1, we type our choices. 0 weeks, 2 weeks, and, I should put a space there, and 3 weeks. Next, and finish. I'm going to save my table, switch to Datasheet view. As I type in the data, shown on page 95, I will show you what we did here. The status is full-time because that was our default. Now as I type in the hire date, all I have to do is use my keypad and type in the date. And it puts in the backslashes for me. For vacation, I have a drop-down list, and we're going to choose 3 weeks for this one. You're going to go through and enter the rest of the data in Assessment 1. When you finish at the end of Assessment 1, it has you create another table, as you see on step number 9 on page 96. Please create that table also, and when you're done, upload Just Lafferty Company into Access Chapter 3.